to say I'm thinking of you.
Yeah.
And that I wanna be with you.
Do it. Don't
What up, though? It's your host, Kamal Lukata, and this is the Kamal Lukata Show, the podcast that everybody is talking about. And we are brought to you by our sponsors, Irving's Professional Training School, the school that trains professionals in the medical field. If you're looking to become a CNA, a PCT, or any other entry-level positions in the nursing field, contact Irving's Professional at 586-777-8500. That's 586-777-8500. Also, don't forget to purchase my book entitled Legendary Detroit Mentality at Amazon.com. My Instagram is Kamal_Lukata. My Twitter is the same, Kamal_Lukata. For any suggestions or inquiries, you can email me at Lukata77@gmail.com. Also, you can go on my Facebook, which is Mr. Lukata, and you can comment or you can inbox me if you have any show suggestions or if you want to comment about the show. And like I say, I'm very accessible. I love to kick it with my fans and talk with my peoples and all that stuff. So let's get to it, y'all. Tonight's show, what we're going to do, we're going to start showcasing some music by, some talent, some good talent that I know of. Tonight we're going to showcase some music by an artist by the name of Model 9. Okay, there's a group called Model 9. The lead artist of this group is Reborn, and I just want everybody to get a chance to check his music out. So we'll get into it sometime throughout the podcast and let you get an opportunity to see some of the great talent in hip hop. Trust me, you will love the music that you hear from Reborn of the group Model 9. Hip hop is back, definitely. And speaking of hip hop, we are going to have a very interesting discussion tonight about an upcoming movie that is coming out. Actually, not so much about the movie itself, but about the subject of the movie. And that is the movie All Eyes on Me, which is coming out in June. I think actually it's coming out on June 16th, which is Tupac Shakur's birthday. And the movie All Eyes on Me is about Tupac Shakur. So what I want to do was get with my listeners and have a discussion explaining some things that a lot of people didn't know about Tupac. We know about all the gangster stuff, all the wild stuff. We know that Tupac is considered one of the greatest, if not the greatest, hip-hop artist of all time. We know that Tupac was on Death Row Records, and he dealt with Suge Knight and Snoop Dogg and all those things. We know all those things about Tupac. But how much do you know about Tupac's background within the Black Panther Party? How much do you know about his mother and her history within the Black Panther Party? Okay, so let's talk about that right now. Okay, first of all, Tupac Shakur. Okay, Tupac comes from a tribe, a long line of Shakurs. Okay, there is his mother, Afeni Shakur. There's Matula Shakur. There's Lumumba Shakur. There is the infamous Assata Shakur. There's Zaid Shakur. And then you have other members of the Black Panther Party that were also either affiliated within the Shakur clan or related to the Shakur clan. Now, those are people like Geronimo Pratt, Sekou Dingo. There was Akolai Sandiata. There's a lot of people within the Black Panther Party that gave their lives or who risked their freedom for the higher cause of black liberation that were tied in somewhere or another to the Shakur clan. Okay. Let's talk about Afeni Shakur. Okay. First of all, let's go back to the history of the Black Panther Party. Okay. In 1966, the Black Panther Party was started back in Oakland, California, and eventually it spread out all over the United States of America. Okay. We know that the Black Panther Party, they fought hard for the liberation of black people, especially, during a time when the civil rights movement had really been going strong. But at some point in time, once Malcolm X had gotten murdered and once Martin Luther King had gotten murdered, there was a time where African Americans had gotten to a point where they felt like there was no other way to achieve freedom and liberation but to stand up and fight even harder than they had in the past. So one of those things was the Black Panther Party, which was started by Huey Newton and Bobby Seals. They pretty much helped to empower African Americans all over the country by helping them to understand the gun laws. And then they also helped them to understand their legal rights. Also, they started the breakfast program for children in all throughout urban America. They also helped to bring clinics, and there were like mobile clinics, and there were clinics with black doctors in neighborhoods throughout the United States that service African Americans who prior to that may or may not have been able to get any type of service due to not having proper insurance or not having the money. And so the Black Panthers did a lot of great things throughout the inner cities in America. In 1969, COINTELPRO, the counterintelligence program, which was headed by the famed FBI director, or the infamous FBI director, J. Edgar Hoover. COINTELPRO. What is COINTELPRO or COINTELPRO? COINTELPRO, which is is a code word for counterintelligence program, was a program, a top secret program that was implemented by the FBI in the United States to pretty much undermine what they considered either communist groups in America or radical groups, or primarily they focused on African American and black associations or groups or things like that, or people who were fighting for their rights. And a lot of times they would be labeled as communist or radical, and that in their minds gave them cause to either commit mass assaults on those who were in those parties. And those mass assaults could be anything from locking them up or killing them, without any just cause. And most of the time it would be the latter, which was killing them. Okay. So in 1969, COINTELPRO was in full effect and really helped to bring down the Black Panther Party. And once the Black Panther Party was brought down, which that's another show we'll really get in depth about that, a lot of the Panther members went underground. And in going underground, I'd say in the next 2 to 5 years, there was a group called the BLA, the Black Liberation Army, that emerged from a lot of the members that had went underground. Okay. In the process, there were a lot of members of the Black Panther Party that ended up going on trial, And like I said, that ended up getting murdered. One of those was Afeni Shakur. Afeni Shakur was a high-ranking Black Panther member in New York. And one of the things that brought Afeni Shakur to the limelight was her involvement with the infamous trial of the New York 21, or another word for it was the Panther 21. That was a case in which let me see if I'm correct. There were 21 Black Panther members that were accused or charged. They were arrested and charged with conspiring to carry out bombings in New York. The thing about that was a very infamous trial, a federal trial. Now, Afeni Shakur, after reading Fidel Castro's History Will Absolve Me, it inspired her to represent herself in court. Okay. She eventually represented herself in court, which tells you so much about how intelligent this woman was. And she, after representing herself in court while pregnant and facing a 300-year jail sentence, okay, a 300-year prison sentence, okay, Afeni Shakur defended herself and acted in her own defense and won, okay? She won the case and was acquitted in May of 1971 after an 8-month trial, okay? A month after she was acquitted, her only son, Tupac Shakur, was born, okay? Initially, she named her son Lasani Crooks, okay? About a week after Lasani was born, she changed his name to Tupac, okay? And the Shakur came from the name of the members of her family who changed their names to Shakur, okay? Now, that should give you some history into who Tupac's mother was. It also may give you a little bit of insight into why Tupac was getting in so much trouble with the law, because you got to understand, you got a woman who defended herself and got acquitted on federal charges of allegedly conspiring to blow up some buildings in New York, okay, with the most infamous black organization in the nation, okay, which was the Black Panther Party. Okay, now here's the thing. Once Tupac was born, and after his mother was acquitted and he was born, now you got to think of it like this. This woman was constantly harassed by police everywhere she went, to the point where she couldn't keep a job, because everywhere she went, she was pretty much blacklisted or blackballed. Once they found out who she was and what she was and what her past was and everything like that, the FBI made sure to keep her from surviving as much as possible. So she pretty much was making it off of, the surrounding people within her family or her tribe. Okay. So that was the Shakur tribe. Like I say, you people like Lumumba Shakur, Matula Shakur, Akoli Sandiata, Geronimo Pratt, Zaid Shakur, Asada Shakur. Okay. So you have to understand that years later, after her going through what she went through and basically not being able to provide properly, eventually it caused her to turn to drugs. But let's get off into this. What about Tupac Shakur's stepfather, Matulu Shakur. But you got to understand, Matulu Shakur had a situation where he was locked up for robbing a Brinks truck. Okay, and there was a murder involved with that. And if I'm correct, he's still locked up. And he was one of the most militant of their group, and a very militant Black Panther member. Matula Shakur, now known as Dr. Matula Shakur, had a lot to do with raising Tupac and teaching him about his blackness and about being revolutionary. But then you also have Assata Shakur. Assata Shakur was Tupac's aunt. Assata Shakur has been in Cuba since the early 1970s. She's been in Cuba on political asylum due to her escaping prison after she was involved in an incident where her and Zaid Shakur and Nicole Sandiata, and I think that was all. There may have been one other person, but they were involved in a shootout with some New Jersey state troopers on the New Jersey Turnpike. So she's been in Cuba on political asylum, and the United States has been trying to extradite her since then, but they haven't been able to. So you can understand there's another reason why Tupac Shakur was constantly harassed. Okay. And it's possibly also a lot of his history has to do with what possibly has to do with why he was murdered. Okay. And there were more attempts on Tupac's life than a lot of people understand. You know, there were several attempts on Tupac's life that, you know, when we look at it on the outside, we thinking maybe it was something with some gang banging or things like that, but it was more to it than that. Okay. So, we're going to get ready to end this podcast. I just wanted to fill people in on my thoughts and my take on the history of Tupac. We'll get off into a little bit more as time goes by and the closer we get to the movie, but this is just my take on a great individual who not only was he a great rapper, not only was he a great in the minds of people who looked at him as a gangster rapper, but Tupac Shakur was a revolutionary. Okay. And matter of fact, he was more than a revolutionary. He was a revolution. Okay. So keep that in mind. If you got any questions, hit me up. Okay. We're going to get ready to end this podcast. I thank you. I thank all my listeners for listening in. I really appreciate all my listeners who have been really, really sticking with me so far. I just got started, but I appreciate you guys. Let's keep it going. We getting ready to get out of here. We're going to play some good music on the way out. Let's not forget our sponsors. Irving's Professional Training School, the school that trains professionals in the medical field. You can give them a call at 586-777-8500. Don't forget to purchase my book entitled Legendary Detroit Mentality. You can find it at Amazon.com, and it's in Kindle, and you can download it on Kindle, and you can buy it as a hard copy. Okay. Also, you can follow me at Instagram and Twitter. I have the same names on Instagram and Twitter. Kamal _Lukata. That's KAMAL_LUKATA. And for any suggestions or inquiries, you can hit me on Facebook at Mr. Lukata, or you can email me at lukata77@gmail.com. You can post on my page, on my timeline, if you like to talk about what your thoughts on Tupac and his history. And we're going to stop right here, and we're going to get off into this good music that I got for you. And I appreciate everybody stopping by. This is Model 9 and Reborn. All right. See you next time.
Yeah. Came a long way. Let's get it.
You like my poetry? It don't rhyme, but you still flow with me. Yeah, this paper thin, but you getting every dose of me. Like a fluid that embeds in your ovaries, so you can feel me like swallowing pills. We the future, even if you hear me ill speak. I know it's now, but I'm still deep. Trying to get my money high as your heels be. Out on the time, we love the nightlife. Fully loaded, cause you know with that life. But that's the devil in us. Probably why I lust you below your level. I fuck. Stay soaking. Smoking ocean, the way you provoke shit don't make no sense. But I like who you are, you a star with the carpet and the extra long car. And after all this time, we fine and dine and still doing it. Sexy, persuasive, clothed in the naked and doing it. Hold me down with a smile on a wild style. You doing it. Stay above that, and I love that. Yeah, you doing it. And after all this time, we fine and dine and still doing it. Sexy, persuasive, clothed in the naked and doing it. Hold me down with a smile on a wild style and still doing it. Stay above that, and I love that. Yeah, you doing it. Got a little change, got a little game. Did something strange, got a whole lot of bang. And the map bottom jeans move same like fame. You so chosen, I'm so frozen, I'm a step, can't walk. Talk like I got a fucking frog in my throat. Float like I'm dining on hot sauce and jelly. Got you with my cherry on 2-6 Pirelli. Me and more, in the war we wore. In your pink decor, back to back in my black something Dior. Or do nothing and all we ball. Back at the crib, pinned against the wall. Sleeping, dancing, speaking. When they see us, they say we on that elite shit. You know the words to my thesis. Love me and hold a half a fucking pieces. And after all this time, we fine and dine and still doing it. Sexy, persuasive, clothed in the naked and doing it. Hold me down with a smile on a wild style. You doing it. Stay above that, and I love that. Yeah, you doing it. And after all this time, we fine and dine and still doing it. Sexy, persuasive, clothed in the naked and doing it. Hold me down with a smile on a wild style and still doing it. Stay above that, and I love that. Yeah, you doing it. I smoke a little, drink a little, sit inside the bride and I think a little. You sitting in the crib so distant now. I'm in the now, you in them clouds. You see, money is a mother. Can't take it how we make mistakes with each other. Ask us, do we stay or do we suffer? Break up, I see you with another motherfucker. Now my pride is a lie, like a devil in an angel disguise. You say I'm shallow like baseball water, swimming in the fountain of pity looking for quarters, and only getting chump change. The last time I came had nothing changed, but to lose you is not what I came for. We doing it and that's what I came for. And after all this time, we fine and dine and still doing it. Sexy, persuasive, clothed in the naked and doing it. Hold me down with a smile on a wild style. You doing it. Stay above that, and I love that. Yeah, you doing it. And after all this time, we fine and dine and still doing it. Sexy, persuasive, clothed in the naked and doing it. Hold me down with a smile on a wild style and still doing it. Stay above that, and I love that. Yeah, you doing it.